Hello again, and today we're going to start another online training, and this time on digital film and TV production. And in that, I'm going to take you through all facets of film and TV production. Normally, historically, there has been three aspects of film and TV production, that is pre-production, production, and post-production. But now I'm going to add another one, which is webcasting, because most of the film and TV products which we produce now, when I say, means the ordinary members of the public, who today, because of the availability of the technology and the information which is accessible on Professor Google, people are able to make film and TV products and webcast, thanks to generosity of YouTube and Google and other such sites. But before I go into these four phases of pre-production, production, and post-production and webcasting, I'm going to tell you a bit of story, because I like telling little stories. This is sort of connected to what I'm going to say about film, and also provides a bit of background history of where I'm coming from. Way back in about 1991, when I was living in London, and I was Neta, not Abhineta. I was a politician and not an actor at the time, and not a film producer. I was invited to a magazine launch of Garvi Gujarat by megastar Amitabh Bachchan, who at the time had taken a brief sabbatical from acting and was spending a lot of time in London, where his brother Ajitab and sister-in-law Ramola Bachchan lived. And I was very eager when I got the invitation to go and meet my star. But when I entered the room where the launch of the magazine was going to take place, as when I climbed up the stairs, and sitting in front of me was Amitabh Bachchan ji, and he was signing some autograph of the eager members of the Indian community in that area. But my initial, when I looked at him, the reaction when I looked at him, was a huge disappointment. For here he was in person, and sitting before me was sort of a lanky, tall, 50-plus man, and he looked very little like the mega image he had created on the screens, where in Sholay, in Diwar, and so many films where he appears to be larger than life superhero without the aid of superheroes costumes, which some of the actors take on now in Bollywood. And it was very believable that Amitabh Bachchan, the megastar, could take on 20 goons and easily deal with them. But here, sitting in front of me, was Amitabh Bachchan, who was slightly taller than me, very skinny, much skinnier, than me at the time. I was a bit more skinnier. And but after the meeting, and after the event took place, and I was intrigued to know how this person, Amitabh Bachchan, turned himself into that megastar on the screen. So I took out a lot of Amitabh Bachchan films, and I looked at them and studied. And then I realized what a great actor he was, in the way that he turned himself into the character which was so believable, and you would believe that a 6'2" man, when he appeared on the screen, was 6'8" and broad shoulders, and the way he looked, the way he talked, the way he were dealt with the enemies, the whole thing. So for me, that was a learning curve. Now, going back a bit further, when I was in my teenage days back in Fiji, in Lautoka, and I used to watch a lot of films. I hardly missed any films. I don't recall missing any of the films. And I used to be so regular at the Mayfair Theatre in Lautoka that after a while they started to give me free tickets, and I was very pleased. And then I went to university, and I recall of many of those trips that I made to and from Lautoka to Suva. During the 5 years I stayed in Suva, on the buses of Pacific Transport or Sunbeam Transport. I spent a lot of time dwelling upon the films we have just seen, trying to emulate how I would have written, told the story, how I would have acted, a particular scene, how would I dance around the bushes with the heroine, all those scenes. And I spent a lot of time, staring out of the window, looking at the sea and the beautiful sceneries of the trip from Lautoka to Suva and Suva to Lautoka. And I was totally enthralled by the magic of movies, and that kept me going. But the magic of the movies, which I think enthralls a lot of people, and that's why they go there to the cinemas, and they get so involved in this magic. And much later, I got to start making films. I made my first film in 1997, and since then I made a number of films and number of TV programs. And in 2004 I started a professional PhD in my profession, which is filmmaking. And today I'm able to understand the whole background way of techniques of making film, from screenwriting to editing and now to webcasting. And as I researched and got to know the whole process, and just like after watching meeting Amitabh Bachchan, the magic of Amitabh Bachchan disappeared for a while. Then I rediscovered how a great actor he was. Today I am able to understand and appreciate the film much better, because when today I watch film, I look at many aspects which goes into making a film, which is from the idea of a story, script writing, the pre-production, all the stages, which I'm going to talk about later, and the direction, the production process, the acting part of it, the whole arts, the lighting, the sound, the whole thing, which goes back, the camera work, how I look at today, even some of the big cinemas, which we see, the production houses, I can notice they make certain mistakes in capturing the images, and then the editing process, analyze that. And so today I'm not merely looking at a cinema and as a magic, but a cinema as the whole process. And whilst I'm watching and appreciating the cinema, the acting. Some of the movies, which is great, obviously, but I watch almost all the movies made in mainly in Bollywood, and even the ones which is very hard to watch. I watch them, and I still learn from them how perhaps not to make a film. I mean, there are few films made in Fiji by Bollywood production houses, and they are the films which can be classified as how not to make a film. Yeah, so this brief storytelling, giving a brief background as to how I got involved in film production, and today I have decided that I would give some of what I know to the people out there, the global audience. This is backed by my 3 years almost in Fiji, where I first set up the film TV department, which was then the FIT and now part of FNU. I was there teaching students, worked with them, but today I think I would like to pass on this knowledge to ordinary people. This online training is not for the people who are aspiring to make multi-million dollar films, and there are many people. If I get $1 for everyone who tells me that they have got great ideas and to turn into a film, but they don't have a penny to make the film, is for the people who would want to take the advantage of what is available today. Cheap cameras, cheap editing equipment, and the opportunity to broadcast your film and TV product to a global audience without much hassle. This online training is for those people, and those people who want to join Bollywood and join Hollywood or Tollywood or so many other woods. This training is not for them. It's training for people like me who have been making films with zero budget or a very, very small budget, and still able to make films and get to an audience. So when I see you next time on online training on film and TV production, I'll start off with explaining what pre-production, production, post-production, and webcasting is. So until then, it's goodbye from me. Thank you.